also standing on Wurundjeri land. I would like to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and note that sovereignty was never ceded. So, with that in mind, let's talk about why we're really here. This person is rambling at me. Who am I? I am an actor, writer, and professional game master, which means I get to tell stories for a living. So watch it when we talk about the pen. I'm just kidding. So this is literally my job. So I get to have a really fun job where I get to reach out to people and on an intimate level, basically be that dude that in the medieval times is like, oh, it's that crazy old man. Hey dude, come here. We'll give you like a penny if you tell us some stories. Like, yes, I will. Give me some of that mead, right? So that's me. What we've learned so far here at the workshops is D&D 101. So that talked about all the basics. Spoilers, it wasn't just about D&D because I run other systems. I am a huge fan of, for example, Call of Cthulhu. That's probably my preferred role-playing game. But D&D is the most popular. So if you write D&D on a thing, people are going to respond to it better. Go figure, that's how the world works. So, next one was combat. How to run speedy combat. That one was really fun, really chaotic though. So I showed everyone how to do snappy combat, how to run as a game master, things that are faster and more dramatic and more interesting. What is the story? What is the environment? And all of that stuff. Those recordings unfortunately did not get lost, which is why I was so pedantic about this one. So hopefully this one will work out fine. They will be recorded basically face-to-face camera eventually. So if you want that information, that will be available on my YouTube, which I will share at the end of the workshop. And then, adventure design, okay? So, you guys know who that is. That's Gary Gygax, if you don't know, originator of the game, also along with Dave Arneson. Make sure you give credit where credit's due. What the heck does that mean? What is an adventure? Okay, so an adventure, well, you guys tell me. Let's see what you guys think it is, because I'm curious. In fact, I know you're a player, sir. So what's an adventure?
Oh, it is a...
Didn't think it would be that kind of workshop, did you? I'm talking now. Yes.
I know, a journey. Something you embark on and you know, you just find things along the way.
You are correct. But what about in a tabletop RPG sense? What's an adventure?
Just a story.
A story, yes, but not just one. There's some differences. We'll talk about it. Okay, that's fine. As it turns out, I'm uniquely qualified to talk about adventure design, but so are you, because eventually, a lot of stories have similar beats as an adventure. Now, what's the difference between an adventure and other stories? There are gaps for players to do their thing. Okay, we'll talk about that in more detail, but put a pin in that, we're going to talk about that in a minute, okay? What happens if the heroes do nothing? Okay, that's every story, isn't it? At the end of the day, any action movie, let's be more specific. We're talking about D&D, right? So what is D&D trying to emulate? Action movies, at the end of the day. We are here to kill monsters. You can have different versions of your own game, that's fine, but we have a monster manual. That is the game telling us that we are here to kill things, right? Fair? That's there in the language, right? So, what happens if the heroes do nothing in Star Wars? Darth Vader keeps the galaxy under the Empire's control, you see? Different stories, but there's similarities. Batman Begins. Gotham plunges further into crime until the League of Shadows destroys it. Okay? It's okay if you don't get these references, that's alright. Some of them you will, some of them you won't. The Matrix. Humans stay in their computer wombs. Now, you might notice all of these stories have a pattern if the heroes do nothing. I'm sure you can figure out what that is. What happens if the heroes do nothing? Page 2. Die Hard. Alan Rickman gets to take his $640 million and presumably retire. Happy ending, to be honest. No one gets hurt. John McClane is a bad man. Okay? Avengers. Loki takes over the world. Pretty simple. Little Mermaid. Ursula gets her revenge and becomes Queen of the Seas.
Happy ending.
In a way, yes. You're not wrong.
Divine choice.
What do the bad guys want? These are all the bad guys of those movies, right? These bad guys want things to stay the same. Yes? Steady state world. What is the world like before the heroes enter the stage? Make sense? Any questions about that? Make sense? Awesome. What do these bad guys want? Hans Gruber, Loki, Ursula. What do these guys want? If those guys wanted things to stay the same, these guys want?
Change.
Change. These bad guys want things to change.
Power and money.
I mean, yes, but they want to shake things up, don't they? Because before, right, Loki wants to take over the world. The world was not under his control before, therefore it is not the same, therefore things change. Yes? Ursula, same thing. Hans Gruber, less so, but I like that, so I like to use it in every example that I can. But this is not a movie. This is not relevant. I've been on a Three Stooges run, and I was like, I like that. Okay. Huh? Jack, this is very confusing. I want my money back. Well, too bad, because it's free. Hang on, stay with me. A movie is where you as a writer have absolute control over the story you're telling. Different from an adventure. We'll talk about that. If you want the main character to take a pratfall, splat, down it goes, because you are in control. Right? Book, movie, TV, doesn't matter. Every character is under your control, you decide what happens. But players are unpredictable. Would you agree with this?
That's an understatement.
There you go. Fantastic. I'm glad we're all in agreement on that, because I wouldn't know where to go. So it's like, oh no, we're totally innocent and we do nothing wrong ever. Really? In an adventure, it is a good idea to simply write out the things the heroes will run into and have a solid hook as to why they are there. Again, we'll get into more detail later. But the big difference is that a movie, you write everything down and everything goes accordingly. An adventure is different because you don't know what the players are going to do and in what order. You know nothing. So instead, let's take Star Wars, for example. If we look at it and by the way, George Lucas is a really mean DM because as a player, Luke's player has gone, you know, I don't really want to answer the call to adventure. I've got a farm, so see ya. So George goes, all right, I'm going to burn your aunt and uncle, and you see their smoking corpses. Now what are you going to do? Well, I guess I'll go then. Jesus. But the difference is, if we look at, for example, the map inside the Death Star, right? All of those encounters might have happened in different order. Obi-Wan is going along the Death Star and he's doing his thing. Hey! Can we say hi, Ash?
Hi, Ash.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Ash.
As well as Luke and Han going off to save the princess. They might not have stayed together. Maybe Han goes, you know what, I'm going to stay right here. Screw you, Luke. I don't care how much money it costs. I don't care how much imaginary money it's going to be. Piss off. And Luke goes like, all right, well, fine, okay. And then the DM has to send all of these stormtroopers in to shoot them out, right? To smoke them out. And then Han has to go on the adventure. You see? I've just given these examples. It's the same result, isn't it? But very different. These players are unpredictable. Do not write down. The heroes will enter the dungeon. Pick this room to go into. Fight them and then go into this room. They will always do the opposite. This is a lesson I learned the hard way. Emma was not there, but she heard the stories later. There was a frog hemoth. I'm trying to remember the specific details. Basically, long story short, they didn't do what I wanted, and I was late 20s, but very emotionally immature. I hadn't gone to therapy yet. So I was seething because they didn't do what I wanted. And they're like, actually, we had a lot of fun. And but I had to improvise a whole tribal circle fight with this frog human. I pulled it directly out of my butthole because they didn't go anywhere near what I had prepared. Why? Because I expected them to do something specific. Don't do what I did. Have encounters ready and get ready to move them around based on where they go. Okay? So what do I write? We talked about bad guys and why they're important. We use their motivation and plan as a backup when the players do something weird. Okay? So, for example, if we're looking at Star Wars, we know what Darth Vader wants. He wants those plans. So when the players go and do something weird, say in the Death Star, maybe in this example Darth Vader comes flying back because he knows Princess Leia is there and he can feel the Force in the form of Obi-Wan. And in fact, that's exactly what he does, because I can't really remember the movie that well. But you see, if the players do something weird, we can fall back on it. Okay? Today, we're going to find out who our bad guy is together. Interactivity time. Pick a species, guys. I'm going to head over here. So, this is going to be stuff that we work on together. Okay? And then you're going to make your own spoilers. That's why there's paper and pads. So, let's pick a species. This is for our main bad guy.
Not
Okay.
kobolds, I always
So-
say kobolds.
Well, I'm gonna say hands up for goblin. 2. Hands up for orc. Hands up for kobolds. Okay, a lot of people aren't voting. Hands up for a gnoll. The majority of you. Okay. I want an insane hyena person, please. Okay. Gnoll.
I mean, all of the others are
Amazing.
just, at least goblins and kobolds are just too adorable.
Yes, that's true. That does become a problem in some adventures. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yes, especially again in Baldur's Gate 3.
What does this species want? Now, we're going to decide, because this is D&D we're talking about, what do we think a typical member of this species wants? Well, for those who don't know, gnolls are
Hungry.
crazy. Okay? Generally speaking. They are the product of basically a cannibal god called Yongu, who takes hyenas and basically, how does it work? They get bitten by gnolls, and then a hyena gets infected, and then a humanoid gnoll comes out of that, right? So they are effed right from the beginning, okay? And they have a big, huge urge to do murder, okay, and to eat flesh.
As you do.
Okay. Now,
Is that fresh or cooked?
flesh, but I mean,
Fresh or
is it fresh flesh? That sounds like a brand that they would be into. Uber Eats for gnolls, fresh flesh. Okay, right.
Yeah, it's just.
Remember though, we can always play against type. Let me just get all of these like that, just in case. Let's decide together what we could expect and what we want to change. Okay, we'll come back to that. So, here's the trick. If this is our main bad guy, not the smartest, probably fair to say. That's not necessarily a problem, but it does mean that we've got to think about, because this is the guy who's in charge of everything. Whatever's going on, this is what they're doing. So, how do we think this is going to work? Yes, please. Hands up is great. Yeah.
Cannibal God decides to, make one his chosen.
Make one more
The
time.
cannibal God decides to make one his chosen.
Make one is chosen. Okay. All right. So it's chosen as in he has more autonomy than the other ones.
Sure.
Okay. A chosen. That's interesting.
One could have got its hands on a headband of intellect.
Headband. Nice one. Yeah. So I think these are intertwined.
Yes.
Okay. See what we're doing? We're already doing adventure design. This is what it is. We just go some BS and then you work out
Now I
the
want to
rest.
know, are they actually chosen or are they just smart enough to say, I'm important and everyone else believes?
That's a good
What's
question.
the difference?
That maybe he thinks that he's been chosen because he found it, right?
Oh my god, get it.
Or here's an interesting question.
Can we name him?
Yeah, please.
Steve. I was going to say Donald.
Steve Knowledge.
Steve what?
No, Donald.
Donald.
As in Trump.
I didn't get it until you. I was like, actually, I was kind of imagining Donald Duck.
I was going into Duck as well.
Okay.
Steve.
Okay, so
Steve or Knievel?
we combine, yeah. So, Steeble, okay, has been chosen, or so he thinks. Okay, now, here's an interesting point. What we could do is we could, actually no, I was gonna suggest that this guy, I think I'm trying to make it easy on myself by going, what if he's not actually a null, what if he thinks he's a null? But no, we're gonna stick with a null. But, this chosen, right, he's chosen and he's got a headband of intellect, what does he want? Besides this, right, what's the goal of this guy? What does the bad guy want? What will he be doing and trying to achieve while the heroes delve into our dungeon?
A constant source of food.
A constant source of food.
So like farming.
Maybe
Like
like be the dominant
Okay,
species.
so that sounds to me like Seven Samurai. Right?
I guess.
So
yeah. I was
Magnificent
thinking that before,
Seven
actually.
Samurai, which is basically, this guy's smart enough that he's talked to a bunch of farm communities, and he's gone, you, and you, we're gonna keep you alive, but only just enough that you make food for us, also, A Bug's Life, great movie. And then, we're going to come back and we're gonna take everything that we can, and basically they might as well be dead, right? These
I was
farm
thinking a little
communities.
bit more sinister, where he's actually
Yeah.
farming the
Okay.
communities. He doesn't care what they do.
The trick is with that,
Yeah.
my disagreement with that is once you start actually like picking at them, then to me as a player, I would go, why haven't these people revolted and like basically suicide bomb this dude? There's got to be a semblance of hope. If they're literally just being farmed, then the only way I think that would really work is if it's a very small amount of people per month or something like that.
Yeah.
Just enough that they think, oh, it's okay, it's only one person.
Hunger
So,
Games.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like in a contained area, so that they've been, let's say, kidnapped and then put into some sort of compound, and then they're fed and everything, and I mean, they know that they're doomed.
yeah.
Is that too sinister?
But you have
No, it's not too sinister, it's just,
Too
like
complicated.
that go out and get
Right.
people, like kidnap them.
yeah, just standard kidnapping, are we cool with that? Just like once in a while, there's kidnappings, standard, I mean, yeah, yes. Ultimately, I have power on this one, just so you know. So,
Balancing off that this Stevel has happened upon the headband of intellect now thinks they are the chosen.
yes,
They are trying to ascend,
ascend.
or at least like,
Mhm.
so whatever, I can't remember the name of whatever
Yongu, yep.
they're worshipping.
Yep.
Could almost be like they are trying to further that worship and further the infection of gnolls outside of hyenas.
So cult.
Cults.
Or just become the dominant species.
Becoming the dominant species. Okay, I like this. This is interesting. So then it becomes. So to be honest, this sounds like a really good Call of Cthulhu scenario, but we're going for a dungeon crawl today. Just to be clear, that sounds like a dope adventure. I really like this idea because in my head, what I imagined is like you've got to kind of go to this community and it's really creepy. And occasionally you just see different people with different symptoms of hyena like infection. Some people have like really bad, like spotty skin. Some people can't like help but like go. Right?
Yeah,
And
stuck on the spooky Halloween.
yeah, no, absolutely. But because we want this to be a simple adventure today, that sounds awesome, but it's a lot of work, not something we can do in an hour. So I'm gonna veto this, and I'm gonna say kidnapping is cool, and I'm gonna keep to my idea of, yeah, Jack right. So basically, isolated farming communities getting attacked now and then, no power. Hey, you samurais, D&D adventurers, can you go and deal with this problem? Yeah, sure, cool, done, right? So,
Hyenas are scavengers, but are they also hunters? As in, like, would they go out, like, the same concept as a cheetah and hunt down prey?
Yeah,
yeah, totally.
they're opportunists.
Yeah, I knew that, so I was like, theoretically, if this is a dungeon crawl, couldn't the hyenas like the thrill of the chase to just let people out into this maze of corridors and shit?
Oh gosh. Oh, around.
Is that too much?
And then with Halloween, like a hay bale maze, just for funsies.
Okay, we're going to combine these ideas. Yes, I like this. This becomes Battle Royale, except it's at the adventurers, and these dudes can't help it. They're infected with the knowledge disease. So then it becomes a moral quandary.
Yes.
Yes? So they go into this dungeon and they realize there isn't just fully bred gnolls. Stevold finds out, oh, these dudes are coming. Okay, fine. Release my little minions, the people I've raised. Release the hounds. Yeah. I've mutated in Yongu's honor. Go ahead, kill him.
Feast
Do it.
babies.
Do it.
Damn you.
Yeah, but I bet you could cure them, but I'm getting away. What do you? So, which also means there's a back entrance, right, of this dungeon, and that's the trick. So then, what's also cool about this is it's not just I go into this room and do violence, right? It is a ticking clock. Yes, terrible clock. Never mind. So.
That's okay, I also have a terrible clock.
So then, right, once they do this, they can hear that these gnolls, once all is lost, so to speak, that Stevold is leaving, and they're like, damn it! We've got to go! We've got to get him before he gets away! Right? And he starts setting up somewhere else. And then that's the adventure. And to me, what I would probably do, this is a me thing, I would set this up as a 4-hour limit, but IRL in real life, right? So once they've arrived in the dungeon, they have to get to Stevold and they have to deal with him before time runs out. In real time.
Meanwhile, they've got creatures trying to kill them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But innocent people, so to speak, mutated folks, right? Yes.
Can we make the bite contagious?
Yes, but my advice would make it a low DC, a
Yeah.
low saving throw, because you don't want everybody to get infected. That would quickly turn things around very quickly, unless you have other character sheets ready to go. If you really want to lean into the horror vibe, that's okay. You can make this a meat grinder and go, you might die, but that's okay. Here's Bob. Right? Here's
Or
another
like,
character.
hey, make 3 characters.
Right.
It's brutal.
Oh, I probably wouldn't make them do that. I probably do. But that's a matter of taste. Yes.
Like throughout the dungeon, traps that throw like meat juice.
Meat juice traps.
As if they're more incentive.
Yeah.
Is that what you call blood? Or is that?
What constitutes
Okay.
Can I just ask a question in terms of
Yes.
setting this up and
Yes.
just on the back of that and
Yes.
making it to to the horror aspect?
Yeah.
Is there a balance between getting that, or what's the balance? How difficult is it to achieve that balance between getting something that is challenging and getting something that is virtually impossible and anyone's not going to enjoy it?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. The short answer is practice, unfortunately, because you're going to have to. It's a feel. When the really important thing to remember more than anything else is that until you've play tested an adventure a bunch, if we're talking about publishing and things like that, design does not stop at the table. Once you're running, then you can look at it and go, I've got 4 level 3 characters, they're getting overwhelmed, so maybe I won't have that reinforcement come in. Maybe their hit points are now less. Because they don't know, that's what a screen is for. Okay? It's more important that the players have fun, always, always, always. But I am on MacLeod diehard. It's every player wants to be John McClane. They want to win, but they want to get their butts kicked while it's happening, right? They won't say that. They don't want to lose resources. They want to be fine. But if they just go, yep, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, nothing happens, then it's not challenging, as you said, right? Yes, one more question, but then we're going to move on.
I would like to add to that. They want to get their butt kicked in a way that seems fair.
Disagree. That's a personal taste thing,
Yeah.
of course, that's for you, but I don't think the world is fair, and they want a real world,
That's
in my experience. Now, you know that at any time, you could put a lich on level 3 dudes and just kill them. That's not fair, right? So I agree with you there, but that's why we use the words challenging,
Yes.
not impossible, right? But I would disagree with the word fair because this is not a war game. This is a role-playing game, a simulation, a slice of life. And sometimes you're going to walk into a cave, there's a dragon there. I'm level 4.
Hashtag.
So like leaving, right? For me, personal taste again, for me, I want that. I don't want to feel like, oh, this has been balanced because this is a video game and I will be fun. No, I want to fear that dragon. Yes?
But do my players have to die before they learn that lesson?
That's a question for your players. I would say, again, I would love to answer more of these questions later. I'm loving this, but we've got to move on. My advice to you, Ashley is actually one of the players in my game. Emma has been a player in my game for years and years and years. If I think it's going to be hard, a one-shot adventure that's going to be difficult, or that I might kill them, I tell them. Simple as that. And then it sets the mood, right? If they know this is a horror adventure and you might lose some people,
Or
but
if
here's
it's
some
a
pre-gens, there's no one gets mad. Zero times has anyone gotten upset with me because they know that. Okay? And same with campaigns. If you're going, hey guys, life is cheap. If that's how you want to run the game, that's not how I run the game. I actually do want it to be entertaining. But if that's how you would want to run it, like old school D&D, then you need to tell them that. Because,
I feel like while you're running a session as well, you can kind of vibe check your table and just like
Definitely,
you look around and you see like people are kind of getting bored or frustrated, then that's when you can kind of look at your own plans. and
yeah,
change it.
communication is really important. Okay, now let's talk location. Stay off the west side. So, let's pick a location. Hands up for temple. No one. Hands up for ruined fort.
Yeah.
Okay, a few of you. Hands up for cave. No one. Hands up for abandoned mansion. Okay, ruined fort. That's cool, no worries.
Yeah, because I did know that.
Okay, so now I'm going to sit down, and this is not going to be a definitive example, and we also have, oh no, we're actually doing alright for time. I was worried about time, but, okay, so, this is a really useful, do I need to drag it? What just happened?
I think I need to drag it
I
across.
need to drag it across. Okay, so this is a useful tool, oh god, called Dave's Mapper. Now I've got to stretch my neck like an idiot. Okay, right. This is impossible. Oh, good. Come on. Come on. There it is. Maybe. Could be. Should be. Would be.
They drag again.
You can just mirror your screen. Click the bottom right hand corner.
What's that?
Click the bottom right hand corner where the time data.
Uh-huh.
So you don't have to like drag it across, you can just mirror it.
Oh, thank God.